Malik and Shabazz. Malik and Shabazz. Spiritual black man, keeper of the sacred flame. Spiritual black man, we feel your royal hand. In this place, in this space, you transform pain into power. This is the hour for liberation, for transformation. The light and sun, you are the one. Malik and Shabazz. Everybody say, hiya, 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 ha! Hiya, 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 ha! We are the ones we've been waiting for. No more waiting, kick down the door. Give thanks for this moment, this hour. Mother, Father, God, ancestors, spirit guides, guardian angels, all forces of light and love, we give thanks for you. We give thanks for life and breath, for kinship and friendship. We thank you for this very moment in time. Some would call this moment the worst of times, others would call it the best of times, but what I know for sure is that we are right on time. Ashe? In this right here moment, we were built for this, we were born for this. Everything we've ever experienced was for this moment right here, right now. These worlds of Babylon, they're falling now, and they're going out kicking and screaming, and they don't know what to do, but the light is rising, and everything that was ever done in the dark is coming out in the light. It is now. It is now. Transformation is now. So we give thanks and we call on the power of our ancestors. See, in the African tradition, there is no such thing as death. There is life and there is rebirth. Ashe? And so we know that our ancestors, they are living through us. And so we call on them and we remember and recall and we ask that they help us remember and recall who we are and who we were born to be. And we honor the elements. We honor earth, wind, fire, and water. And as we prepare to do this libation, we say Ashe, and honoring this cycle and circle of life. We call on you, Great Spirit, and we honor those who have come before us, Ashe. Those names, known and unknown, who paved the way so that we could be here today, Ashe. We honor the first mothers and fathers of civilization, mothers and fathers of this entire human existence as we know it, Ashe. We honor our ancient African ancestors. We honor the great civilizations of Kemet, Kush, Ethiopia, Ghana, Mali, and Songhai, Ashe. We honor the Igbo, the Yoruba, the Hausa, Ashe. The Akan people, Ashe. The Dahomey, Ashe. The Dogon people, Ashe. The Bantu people, Ashe. And the list goes on and on. We honor you, creators of math, science, medicine, astronomy, language, art, music, and philosophy, Ashe. We honor you. We honor the high priests, Ashe. The great kings and queens, Ashe. The warriors, the magic makers, Ashe. The shapeshifters, Ashe. The storytellers, the artists, the scholars, the builders and conceivers, Ashe. The freedom fighters, the liberators, Ashe. We honor the healers, Ashe. Those who have come before us and who have made a way so that we could be here. Those who are still protecting us on the other side, Ashe. And may we just call out but a few of the names. Just but a few of the names. And as we call the names, we will end each name with Ashe. We call on the energy and the spirit of Ma'at, Ashe. We call on Imhotep, Ashe. Queen Tai, Ashe. Ramses II. Queen Candace. Akhenaten. Queen Amina. Vanguard, Shaka Zulu, Dagdara and Zumbi of the Quilombo, Sitting Bull and Sarah Winnemucca, Denmark VC and Nat Turner, Tucson Louverture, Natty and Kojo of the Maroon, Kwame and Nkrumah, Patrice Lumumba, Marcus Garvey, Haile Selassie, Dr. Carter G. Woodson, Ella Baker, Mary McLeod Bethune, Dr. Dorothy Height, Dr. John Henry Clark, Dr. Sheikh Anta Diop, Fannie Lou Hamer, James Baldwin, Bob Marley, Ella Kuti, Nina Simone, Maya Angelou, Miriam Makeba, my father, Baba Dick Gregory, Huey P. Newton, Toni Morrison, Nelson Mandela, Winnie Mandela, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Coretta Scott King, Medgar Evers, Dr. Betty Shabazz. And before we call out our prince of, our shining black prince, I'd like for you to call out the names of your ancestors. Call out the names.
Myrtle White Buckingham.
Call out the names.
Raymond C. Duncan, Shirley Carnegie, Annie Duncan, Mitch Duncan, Helen Odell Gibbs, Senior Nancy Ingram, Daniel Webster White,
Ashe,
Aunt Nora,
Ashe,
on the list.
Ashe. And lastly, we honor the warrior, the master teacher, truth teller, the lover of our people, the liberator, our shining black prince, El Haj Malik El Shabazz. We thank you, ancestors, Baba Malcolm X, because of you we are. We say Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. It is done. It's already done. We already won. Give thanks. Let us welcome to the podium the caretaker of the Shabazz legacy, our chairman of the Shabazz Center and inspired leader, the proud daughter of Malcolm X and Dr. Betty Shabazz, Dr. Ilyasa Shabazz.
Let's give a round of applause to our drummers.
Yeah.
And especially to Baba Dick Gregory's shining light daughter, Ayanna Gregory. You know, I'm really happy today that my youngest, my baby sister is here, Malik. I'm going to wait for you. And my sister Malika's daughter, her twin, Betty. You want to wave, Betty?
Yes.
And so many friends and family. Welcome to the Shabazz Center. This is the house that my sister Malik always says that Betty built. My mother witnessed the assassination of her husband here, and she turned this place that represented tragedy and trauma into a place of triumph. And this is the spirit of Betty. So we're so grateful for having her as our role model and for having her as the core person who helped preserve this space. I'm Ilyasa Shabazz, and I stand here on behalf of my 5 sisters, Atala, Kabila, Gamila, Malika, Malak. Today we celebrate my father's birthday by reissuing the call for us to live the legacy. What is my father's legacy? It is vast, and it encompasses several elements we may allow and follow in our own work as we embrace and lift up our communities. First, Brother Malcolm taught us how to think and how to make a thorough study and analysis of our situation, truthfully. Next, he stressed the importance of being inclusive in the breadth of our analysis so that the human family of our vast community is represented in our thinking. He taught us not to be afraid of people in other countries and with other points of view. My father's vision incorporated national and international aims as he introduced a human rights agenda into the civil rights movement. He visited, studied, and debated with people in many parts of this country and the world with an open mind and heart. And this invited like-minded persons of goodwill to connect with our struggle. When that connection occurred, he deliberately sought and praised acquiring consensus on the solutions embraced. And this allowed everyone involved to feel connected to and responsible for the solutions. His speeches and appearances on television demonstrated his love and values to teach and lead. They are our guide so that others like us can learn to do the same. Now, we were waiting for Brother Mark Lamont Hill, but I think that we're going to use the voice of God until he gets here.
All right.
And so, with that, we will wait for Dr. Mark Lamont Hill, voice of God. Please take it away.
We will guide you through the celebration of the birth of El-Hajj Malik El-Shabazz Malcolm X. This rich tradition of remembering him by speaking his name and lifting up his legacy right here in Harlem is being copied all over the country and all over the world. We honor him and his wife, Dr. Betty Shabazz, as visionary leaders, grassroots organizers, and as a couple united in faith and commitment with love for their children and the family of mankind. Many people will come to this podium to be recognized for exemplifying one or more of their characteristics and will receive our Vanguard and Changemaker Awards. Brother Malcolm and Sister Betty are the example and the inspiration. What is a Vanguard? It's the advance unit, the foremost division, the leaders of a political or intellectual movement. If you're a vanguard, you're often out in front, highly visible so that others can follow. Vanguards are leaders who defy the odds. They break glass ceilings, face the dangers and challenges of leadership head on, with courage and always looking at the bigger picture. These are the attributes of our first awardee. But right now, I'd like to welcome to the stage Mark Lamont Hill. Let's give him a round of applause.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
You can tell I've been running. What a beautiful day.
Yes.
What a beautiful time. Give yourselves a round of applause, please. That's what you do when you need to catch your breath. Look at you. I want to say thank you and good afternoon. It is my great honor, as always, to guide us through this celebration of the birth of El-Hajj Malik El-Shabazz, Malcolm X. This rich tradition of remembering him by speaking his name and lifting up his legacy here in Harlem is being copied all over the country and the world. when you look on the internet, when you look on your phones, when you read the newspapers all over the world, this is no longer a local event. This is a local event rooted in Harlem that has become an international celebration of one of the most extraordinary people in the world. We honor him and his wife, Dr. Betty Shabazz, as visionary leaders. And it is important to emphasize that this is the house that Dr. Betty built.
Yes, I shall.
And we recognize them as visionary leaders, as grassroots organizers, and as a couple united in faith and commitment with love for their children and the entire human family. Many people will come to this podium tonight to be recognized for exemplifying one or more of their characteristics, and they will receive our Vanguard and Change Maker Awards. Brother Malcolm and Sister Betty are the example for these awards, and they are the inspiration for these awards. Now, some of y'all are going to ask, if you haven't been here before, what is a Vanguard? First of all, it is the advanced unit, it is the foremost division, it is the leaders of a political movement or an intellectual movement. If you are a vanguard, you are often the person out in front, highly visible so that others can follow. A vanguard is the first person to step out there. There are people who defy the odds. There are people who break glass ceilings, people who face the dangers and the challenges of leadership, and they face them head on with courage. And they're always looking at a bigger picture. These are the attributes of our first awardee. She was the first woman leader of the Black Panther Party, standing 10 toes down in the face of sexist opposition to a woman filling that role. She helped lead the Panthers' free breakfast program for children, free busing to prisons, and the free legal aid programs. She also founded the Panthers Liberation School, which was recognized by the state of California as a model school. A multi-talented artist, she was commissioned by Party Chief of Staff David Hilliard to write and produce 2 albums of her songs, Seize the Time and Until We Are Free. Taking the Panthers' principles of activism into the larger community, she managed the successful campaign for Oakland's first Black mayor, and she ran for office several times herself. After leaving the Panthers, she continued her unwavering commitment to empowering marginalized communities by founding 2 organizations in Georgia to advocate for educational opportunities and justice for children being charged as adults. This resulted in a 27-year campaign to free the wrongfully convicted Michael Little B. Lewis. In 2010, she advised incarcerated people in more than 7 Georgia prisons when they used contraband cell phones to organize a non-violent strike for better prison conditions, and helped them strategize with outside groups, including the NAACP and the Nation of Islam. She returned to California and is currently serving as the COO of Oakland and the World Enterprises, which she founded in 2014 to secure economic opportunities and affordable housing for formerly incarcerated individuals. She is also the author of the acclaimed autobiography. I'll tell you, it's one of those books that will change your life. If you haven't read it, you need to. If you have read it, read it again, because you ain't get it the first time. I'm talking about A Taste of Power, the extraordinary autobiography. And this is a portion of her lifelong accomplishments. I'm talking about none other than the extraordinary, the heroic, the legendary Elaine Brown.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
When Gina Jackson told me I had 3 minutes, I clocked myself, so don't say anything because I got 3 minutes. But I am going to say power to the people.
Yes.
All right now.
I want you to know that the Black Black Panther Party, of which I was the only woman, and I was not oppressed as a Panther woman, just so we get it straight. We love our brothers and our comrades. So we don't want to have that division because we can't afford it. The Black Panther Party was the full expression of the ideology of Malcolm X, advancing an agenda for black self-determination and for freedom. Just as most blacks didn't hear Malcolm's messages at the time, today we find ourselves falling asleep, experiencing what Huey P. Newton called our spiritual death. Voice of Malcolm's silence, we have no real movement, no collective agenda or action plan for overcoming our ongoing oppression, no freedom agenda. Biden's pro-Zionist commitment of tax dollars and weapons to Israel and endorsement of the murders of nearly 40,000 Palestinian people does not even move us. We don't see the nexus between the reactionary commitment and the government's reactionary commitment and the governor's agenda to keep black people oppressed, as even de minimis programs like reparations would be too costly and antithetical to the greedy interests of the dominant racist forces that control the United States government's interests that have been long institutionalized in American way of life over these 400 plus years of black enslavement and oppression.
Yes, yes.
60 years ago, Malcolm X urged black people to use either the ballot or the vote to achieve our common goal of freedom and self-determination. 1 year later, Malcolm X was assassinated. 1 year after that, Huey P. Newton formed the Black Panther Party, grounded in the ideals and messages of Malcolm X, launching a revolutionary agenda for black people, for all oppressed people, calling our organization the Vanguard Party. Our 10-point platform and program was modeled after the advocacy of Malcolm X and the nation. Hearing and heeding Malcolm's call, we took up arms against the government repression, patrolling the black community of Oakland to defend our people against police brutality, and in the early days even provided armed security for Betty Shabazz in the Bay Area. And we organized and coalesced with other oppressed groups and liberation organizations nationally and internationally, and we organized in the street, providing free food and clothing and free health care to black people. And as Fred Hampton stated, we died for the people because we live for the people, because we love the people. We said power to the people. Despite everything, some of us have held fast to the legacy of Malcolm X, including the legacy of his natural heirs, the Black Panther Party. In the spirit of self-determination, I am heading up building a 100% affordable housing complex called the Black Panther in the heart of the hood in West Oakland, California. Our construction will be completed this June.
All right, sister. Yes.
There we will install 5 cooperatively owned businesses, including a fitness center, an urban farm, a tech center, a restaurant, and a neighborhood market. So it is in that spirit of honoring the legacy that I accept this Vanguard Award, and I thank you, Dr. Shabazz, and the Center for so honoring me. Thank you very much.
real time to give them their flowers while they're here. We are literally the recipients of their labor.
Yes.
And it's such a blessing and a gift to have her in our midst, but also to have a reminder that the work continues. You know, when we think about our freedom fighters and our heroes, Nelson Mandela was caged for decades. And when he got out, he could have just sat down. Could have just retired. What's the first thing he did? He rejoined the ANC. The work continues. There are people who build a legacy, and we hear Elaine Brown still trying to free people who are captive, still building housing, still dealing with these dungeons that we call prisons, trying to liberate folks. She's doing that right now at this moment. And don't let us stop. I want to keep it moving, though, to another one of our extraordinary honorees. This person is on the battlefield of civil rights. And when it comes to holding folks to account in a courtroom, as the folks say, he stay ready so he ain't gotta get ready. They call him the people's lawyer. He is eligible to advocate in civil rights matters in all 50 states. His motto is teach, unify, defend. And he is now emerging as an influential new voice in the struggle, the fight for social justice. His firm represents victims of police brutality, official corruption, whole lot of that, corporate discrimination, and hate-based crimes. His office led the way in reform in Texas, a state notorious for failing to indict police officers, although all them states ain't far behind. He advocated for the first murder indictments of police officers in the state in 40 years. You imagine that? All the folk that get killed took 40 years? That was an uphill struggle, but he did the work and he was victorious. After Hurricane Harvey in 2017, he helped launch the American Black Cross, a disaster relief organization serving the most vulnerable members of society. I like that. They got the Red Cross, but we need a little extra. The Root recognized him as one of the top 10 influential African Americans between 18 to 45. The National Black Caucus of State Legislators awarded him the prestigious Nation Builder Award, adding him to their elite list that also includes President Obama, Shirley Chisholm, and Vernon Jordan. He began his legal career with the famed Johnny Cochran firm. And I'll bet his top claim to fame, I ain't gonna host What Happened Today against you, my brother. He is a Morehouse man. Yeah! Cum laude. This brother is a fighter, he's a builder, he's an organizer, and he is also our Vanguard Award winner. Please give Lee Merrick a round of applause. Lee Merrick.
All right. I was just told on the way up the stairs to say you're going to be given a few minutes, and so I'll try to keep it to that. I was born in Los Angeles, California. During the height of the so-called crack epidemic, the subsequent so-called war on drugs, which really played out as a war on black and brown people, and a culture of gang violence. In fact, my father is an originator of the Rolling 60s Crips in Los Angeles.
All right now.
My earliest memories of my dad are behind bars. He would write me letters. I remember he would draw pictures in the margins. But he also shared with me his introduction when he joined the Nation of Islam. And he began to share with me what he learned. Unfortunately, his conversion didn't last past release. But I got a copy of his Quran, and I was introduced to people like Assata Shakur, COINTELPRO, and brother Hajj Malik Shabazz. On April 27th of 1962, brother Shabazz, along with the rest of the Los Angeles community, was rocked by the murder of one Ronald Stokes, a member of the Nation of Islam, a Korean War veteran. And he began a campaign against the media at the time, where he was doing the work of humanizing Ronald Stokes. He took the images of him beaten after he was dead. He was beaten post-mortem. He blasted those images and he explained who Ronald Stokes was, a Korean War veteran, a father, an upstanding member of his community. I borrowed from Malcolm's strategy when humanizing Botham Jean, who was smoking weed in his apartment. But he was in his apartment eating a bowl of ice cream when Amber Geiger burst through the door and said, "I thought this was my apartment," and she shot him to death. That was the first conviction of a police officer in Dallas County history. Using the strategies laid out by Brother Malcolm, by our community, we get to reclaim our own history. An act of God kept me from being here earlier this week. I was supposed to receive, and this is I guess a humble brag, I was supposed to be added to the first inaugural class of the Forbes top lawyers in the nation. I'm glad I missed that.
Yeah.
This is our highest honor. When we acknowledge who we are, when we support ourselves, when we use our platforms and our communities and our resources to honor and to encourage our leaders, I am humbled to receive the Vanguard Award. I will try my best for the duration of my years on this planet to live up to it. God bless you.
I just walked into that TV. I ain't gonna pretend. I ain't got no good excuse. I just did. I used to sneak up on you, man. I tell you. Vanguards come in all walks of life. They are highly creative and multi-talented. They are skilled communicators in several mediums. Their presence and their work attracts attention, and they are often in the media public eye. And our next award winner fits that description perfectly. An Afro-Latino who grew up in the Bronx, she first pursued a career in the law, which took her from law clerk, fraud investigator, and federal prosecutor, for which she was awarded a Special Achievement Award from then Attorney General Janet Reno for her prosecution of child sex predators. Her skills as a researcher, investigator, and communicator blended well into media platforms, including TV legal correspondent, analyst, news anchor, and executive producer on ABC, CNN, and Fox News, to now her 8th year. Time be moving. I don't know how she's the only person I know, time moving, she looked the same. 8th year as permanent co-host of ABC's popular morning talk show, The View. And she don't just be on The View. She gives the proper view. I done seen her blood pressure rise, but there's a way that I can watch Sunny Hostin on that screen, and I can tell when somebody saying something crazy. But she know how to stay steady and look peaceful. Now every once in a while that hand will go up and back, Jasmine Crockett style. And I know they better not tell her to calm down because it ain't gonna work. But she manages to articulate the views of the vulnerable. She manages to speak truth to power. She manages to be a hero at all moments, and she does it with such quiet dignity and sometimes expressed energy, I'll just say. But it's always beautiful and powerful, and most importantly, it's always in the service of us. And that's why I admire her so much. We worked together many times. I've been fired from lots of jobs, so I done worked, at least 3 different jobs we done worked together before I left, before the exit interview. And she has people's back when the cameras are on, but she also has people's back when the cameras are off. She ain't the person that goes in the executive offices and says the opposite of what she said to you on the phone, which is a very big thing and a very rare thing in this business. She is extraordinary, and I just want you to know how much we love you, but how much I love and appreciate you as well. She's been profiled everywhere: Forbes, Woman, Uptown Magazine, Essence, the New York Post, Wall Street Journal, Latina, and most importantly, Ebony. She black. She regularly speaks and moderates only at this place where Ebony be the pinnacle of all them things. And I love it. That's how it's supposed to be. She regularly speaks and moderates at panels at prestigious organizations. She does it all. She's an author whose third novel is set in the oldest black resort community in the country, founded in the Chesapeake Bay in the 1800s by the son of Frederick Douglass. It's called Summer in Highland Beach. It comes out actually next week, May 24th. And it was when Court TV's Nancy Grace was unable to pronounce her name, Asuncion, that she took the stage name Sunny. And that describes her and us perfectly. And I am so honored, I am so proud to present this Vanguard Award to Sunny Hostin.
It's my brother there.
Yes, yes.
He's right. We've been through it. He uses his voice for us at all consequences. And I'm still there for you. And speaking truth to justice and to power, there are consequences. And my brother Mark Lamont Hill has paid those consequences, and that's why he is a hero.
Yes, yes.
And I would add, always on the right side of history. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I don't really know what to say. I have written some things down. I don't even think it does it justice. What some don't know is that my dear friend Malcolm X's daughter, Ilyasah Shabazz, and I grew up together. And I was always impressed not only by her stature, but by her light and her determination. Even though she doesn't like that I call her Yasa. I enjoy it, it rolls off the tongue. Yasa. And those of you who know her know that you may be blessed enough to get a video of her enjoying a morning walk, looking at something beautiful, and she'll think of you and send it to you.
Wow.
And it is a true blessing to be your friend. So good afternoon. It's such an honor to be receiving the Malcolm X and Dr. Betty Shabazz Vanguard Award. As y'all know, it hits pretty close to home for me. Oh, there's my friend Angela. As a legal journalist, former federal prosecutor, and an Afro-Latina from the South Bronx Project. See, he left that part out.
Yes, baby, yes.
Justice and equity are instilled within every ounce of my being. I've always been. My parents got married in 1968, and I was born 2 weeks after they got married because in 1967 their marriage was not sanctioned by the government. You can imagine that.
Oh.
The loving decision came down in 1967. My mother was already pregnant. And they were burned out of their home in Georgia by the KKK. And my mother, who's a white-facing Puerto Rican, was told to get that N-word out the house. And she did, but they burned it down nonetheless. So, as I say, justice and equity are instilled within every ounce of my being. These two principles continue to serve as guiding pillars throughout my career. And as I walk onto the set of The View every morning, deciding whether or not I will meet energy with energy, deciding sometimes not to go high, but to go down low, meet that energy.
Yeah. Need it.
Because if you have energy, I'm going to meet your energy, but I'm going to show you which energy is. And I'm going to become small like an ant, and I'm going to go to the earth's crust to show you as people who we are and the fortitude and strength that we have. But as I walk onto the set of The View, I am filled with gratitude, honestly, to be given a platform that can be used for good. And in tandem, I'm keenly aware that this comes with great responsibility. I have the ability to provide a spotlight on wrongdoings in order to help bring justice where necessary. And I have the ability to publicly acknowledge systemic barriers and inequalities in hopes that exposure will lead to change, because I believe that the best disinfectant is sunlight. Malcolm X and Dr. Betty Shabazz were two towering figures in this continued struggle, and it continues. It continues. Look at the, well, I don't want to do this, but look at the twice impeached and disgraced. That's the man sitting in a criminal court downtown in Manhattan for his crimes against humanity, really. With Dr. Shabazz and Malcolm X, their unwavering commitment to confronting injustice gives me hope. Even when facing adversity and danger, I can only hope to achieve throughout my lifetime on this earth what they achieved in the shortened lifespans that they had, because they were taken away from us too soon. So being presented with this award is a lovely reminder that I am at least on the right track and on the right side of history, like my brother, and for that I'm so grateful. Thank you all for this incredible honor, and thank you, Yasa. Thank you, Malcolm X and Dr. Betty Shabazz, for paving the way for us all to have the courage and the bravery, because it takes a bit of bravery and courage, but not so much when I look out here and I know that y'all have my back. Leave you with the fact that yes, I am on a book tour. The book comes out May 28th. I got a letter at my home a few days ago. It said, from, I'm sure it's not his real name, but it said, do you really think it's safe to go on a book tour right now?
Wow.
Yeah, it's safe. I'm okay. I will go on that book tour. On my legacy, I'm standing on my business. So may we all